The EP Podcast. Heard everywhere podcasts can be found, and always at theeppodcast.com.
And welcome into the EP Podcast. My name is Chris. What's yours? This is 30 minutes of good in a world of dumb from my basement bar right here in Evergreen Park. So much going on today. We're going to visit the Evergreen Park Village Pantry on site to see all the wonderful things that they do for the community, especially this time of year. And the Evergreen Park Chamber of Commerce. Several members down here. Massive competition going on over Thanksgiving weekend. You could win $250. We have all the details for you. You will not want to miss it. It is all brought to you by the First National Bank of Evergreen Park. Who knows that we're all happy to give this time of year, but those costs can sometimes add up, even if you're making someone else's day better. That's why when you open up a Total Access checking account, you get a $300 bonus and free ATMs nationwide. Plus, you get great mobile and online banking tools. Give away this season, and all you have to do is set up at the First National Bank of Evergreen Park. Open online right now. bankevergreenpark.com/totalaccess/EP. $100. Required to open. Requirements to qualify. Must use link to apply. Member FDIC. Before all of my guests sit down here and we have a nice chat about how you can win $250 cash money coming up over Thanksgiving weekend and have an awful lot of fun trying to win that prize, let's head out to the Evergreen Park Village Pantry. So I like sitting at the bar. That's fine. Sitting down in the basement, doing the podcast, but it's also fun to go out and actually see something happen. And John Dalkey has come to my place so many times, and I have only visited once without a microphone to his place over here at the Evergreen Park Village Pantry at 2704 West 98th Place, and I showed up on the day once a week. You guys hand out food to those that are in need, and this place is moving today, John. You've got a lot of people working really hard.
Yeah, I know we're hopping today, and I explained earlier, our numbers have really shot up the last 3 weeks, and I just think it's the food prices that are forcing a lot of people back to the food pantries, and I've seen that on the news too. So I'm really concerned that this could be like the canary in the coal mine, as far as there's a problem in the economy. So, but again, we're coming into the holidays, and our residents are always very generous. So I know we're going to be fine. But it's concerning to see all these families that are still struggling after over a year with this whole COVID situation. So. We're monitoring it.
You've got a lot of people working for you in here. I saw a couple of village trustees. Mark Phelan's here. Carol Kyle's here. I mean, you get a lot of people from the community that are giving their time to come in here and help out their neighbors. What does it feel like when you see how hard they're working? Because I'm astonished by it. I mean, you got multiple rooms here. People run around. They're packing things. It's curbside delivery as cars pull up, and they've got all these pre-packed boxes. You've got everything from canned goods to meat coming out of freezers and refrigerators here and being individually packed. This takes an army, basically, to do every week, right? Yeah,
it does. And we've got a great group of volunteers. Everybody knows everybody else's jobs, so sometimes people are on vacation. So everybody can move into, whatever role they need to do that week, and everybody jumps on it and gets it done, But we're pushing a lot of food out of this building, and these volunteers are just fantastic. We got one guy who's a retired craft executive, another guy who's a Chicago fire captain who's recently retired. Like you said, we've got a couple of village trustees. Just so many people are just devoted. They just love coming here on Fridays, helping out their neighbors.
So you took me around the place, and to give an idea to people of the amount of food that comes in and goes out of this place, how many freezers and refrigerators would you say you have? I think I counted 6 large, and I'm not talking like the ones you have in your house. I mean, these are like twice the size of your refrigerator, top to bottom, and the entire thing is just there to stack meat in. How many of them?
We've got 9 altogether.
Right, and we went through 8 of them before you found one that had something left in it today.
Right, yeah. Well, that's that time of the month where we are going to, we get our deliver from the Chicago Food Depository next Wednesday. So, and we're also getting ready for our turkey giveaway to people who have received cards from us saying that they're eligible to receive turkeys. So we're going to have a monster delivery next Wednesday, and that'll keep our shelves fairly full. But then also, we've got the Queen of Martyrs is doing a food drive for us. St. Bernadette's and then Holy Redeemer's doing food drives. The schools, 124, and they've already been dropping food. They've been dropping food off since the kids went back to school, and I'm sure the high school is working on something too. So, it's the community support this time of the year is just fabulous. And while we're taking all these donations, and during the day, we have other residents dropping in checks for donations. So it's just a fabulous community, and it's really nice to see what the support that we get.
And the pickups are once a week. So take me through this real quick. First of all, the drop-offs. Somebody wants to drop something off. Are they dropping it off of this location? They go to the community center over by Klein Park. Where's the best place for them to bring in goods?
It depends on what day. We're open on Fridays from 9:30 until noon. So if they can do it between 9:30 and noon on Fridays, it's best here.
2704 West 98th Place.
It's just
98th and Washtenaw.
It's the firehouse, the corner 98th and Washtenaw. So, but if they can't get here on Fridays when we're open, then drop it off at the Office of Citizen Services in the community center. But it's obviously more optimal to drop it off here. That way they don't have to transfer it from OCS to our property here.
Right. But either way, there's different ways, different times you can drop off goods that you guys need. And some of your needed food items. I'll go through some of the list here for you, John. You're looking for some sweet breakfast cereals, grape or strawberry jelly, peanut butter. I see a lot of peanut butter on the shelves, but I bet you it flies right off the shelves. If you got canned vegetables, beans, if you have canned tuna, I saw that you have an entire shelf that seems to be devoted to tuna and canned chicken, any kind of things like ketchup and mustard and salsa, relish, salad dressings. And we've talked about this before. Mixes for like pancakes with syrup and also like chocolate cake mix. We've talked about that before, that, everybody just figures I'll just grab the cans that are in the back of my pantry and just hand those out because I'm not going to eat them. I bought this, but I don't want it anymore. But it's important if there's a family that can't even afford to get a cake to be able to make a cake for their kid on their birthday.
Yeah, that's it. The other thing too is that, we really push our hygiene products. And I just tell people, go to the dollar store and you can get a carton of like 24 packages of 4 toilet paper for $24. And, or you can get deodorant, you get a case of deodorant or a bar soap, toothpaste, that type of stuff from the dollar store. So it's not like it's going to be that expensive to get, but it is very helpful for our people, so I urge them, And for a lot of people that are in need, that's something that they probably wouldn't get on as like a SNAP benefit.
So you will take frozen foods, you will take meats, but you want people to schedule that in advance, because you might get people that are like, I want to donate some turkeys, or I want to bring in something for this time of year. I want to do something special, but they should reach out to you. What's the best way to do that?
Yeah, the best bet is to call me directly.
I got a number right here, 708-629-8526. That sound right to you?
Yeah, that's the phone number for the...
I don't know most phone numbers now. They're just programmed into my phone, John. I don't know. I just look at the person's name and I hit the button. That's all I do these days. But that's the number, 708-629-8526, if you want to bring in something that's special that might have to be refrigerated or kept frozen as well. So take me through what people are getting here, because I'm watching the amount of work that's being done. So you on Fridays, the process begins, you start stacking, it looks like you give away a box of certain types of food and then a bag of like canned goods. Tell people essentially what's being handed out here and who's eligible to come here, because there might be somebody listening right now to this podcast who is hurting, who the cupboard's bare, who's having a hard time. How do they get involved in this program, and what are they getting if they stop in?
Anybody who's an Evergreen Park resident can come at any Friday between 9:30 and...
No appointment, anything like that, just pull up?
No appointment. You just pull up. We'll take some registration information from you, and then you'll be on you can come every Friday once you're registered. There's no requirement where you have to prove your income or your assets or anything like that. We get this food from the Food Depository, and it's a federal program. They just use it to distribute the food. So, but again, our bylaws say we serve Evergreen Park residents, but the last year and a half, we've been basically serving anybody that shows up, because we're not turning anybody away. But as far as like on Wednesdays, our volunteers are here to prepackage those grocery bags that you saw out in the warehouse. And then so when we open our doors on Friday, people start driving up, we put a package of canned goods in there and some, smaller pasta bags that would get into. And so the canned goods would be like fruit, vegetables, pasta sauce, SpaghettiOs, and then we'll throw in a couple of boxes of mac and cheese, bag of rice, a bag of spaghetti. We also give them boxes of bulkier items, like bar soap, bread, eggs, milk, cheese, and whatever else we get from vendors. We're getting, like I said, tremendous support from Amazon Fresh, Mariano's, and Meijer as far as giving us product that they ordinarily would throw out because they're past their internal best buy dates, but they're still before the best buy date for consumers to use. So we're getting, a good.
So these local stores are saying, hey, come on over here, bring a truck over, and take all this stuff before we throw it away because it's still good. Right. We just can't put it on the shelves anymore, and that also increases the amount you're able to give out to people.
It gives us a better variety of things for our people, and especially as far as fresh fruit. That is something we try to give, other than, canned fruit. And during the summer, we get a lot of fresh vegetables, too, from people who have their own gardens, And the village also has that large garden at the 50-acre park that they produce food there, and they drop it off here every Thursday, So we're ready for Friday. So it gets back to community support, and I think our people are very aware. They're listening to the news. They know there's food shortages. They know that inflation is really starting to impact, even middle-class families. People are thinking twice about what they're going to get. From what I understand, the price of turkey has almost doubled over the last year. And that's putting a squeeze on people. So, and we're here to relieve that stress. The way I look at it is, people, almost most people are under financial stress. If we can relieve a little bit of financial stress, that is going to probably mean a happier household for people because they know at least that they're going to have food in their community.
You're doing great work. If somebody wants to help you out, if somebody wants to drop something off, if somebody has any questions, the number again, 708-629-8526. And remember, 98th and Washtenaw. If you need this help, it's here waiting for you on Friday mornings from 9 o'clock until noon, right?
9:30 till noon.
9:30 till noon. Just pull up, okay? You don't need to do anything in advance. Just pull up. They'll talk to you as a first-timer. They'll get you all set up. You'll drive away with some groceries, and then you have a little bit of an outlet, a little bit of relief. Remember, 98th and Washtenaw, the Evergreen Park Village Pantry, and John Dalkey. Thank you to you and all these folks running around in here working really hard. I feel guilty. I think I might go out and pick up a box or something.
No, there's a hard-working crew, but like I say, they are just so good. They know exactly what's got to be done. So, and then I always tell them, there's nothing you do that can be wrong.
Yeah, exactly. I would say that's a good philosophy running a place like this, John. I get muscle aches all the time. I've gone from being able to do whatever I want to and not feeling any pain to basically getting pain for any kind of physical activity. Good news, there's a local family-owned Southside business that provides a CBD topical that will not break the bank. Creaky Bone Balm offers concentrated relief for creaky bones. It is an effective hemp-based CBD in a rejuvenating balm. And guess what? It's made in small batches, always free of preservatives, and all natural ingredients. It's great for muscle aches, tension, inflammation, joint pain. You can even use it for skin ailments like burns and dry, cracked skin. Right now, go to creakybone.com and use the promo code BASEMENT. Get 20% off your order. And now check out the new 2,500 milligram balm with reduced pricing on their classic balms right now at creakybone.com. Before we get to our guest, and I figure this would be a great time to unveil this, the Evergreen Park Chamber of Commerce, a couple of people here from the chamber sitting down to talk with me about how you can win $250. I have a brand new segment that I've been waiting to unveil, and this seems like a good time to just kind of throw it out there. Now, let me give some music here. There's got to be something here. We're going to try out a song. Every time I start a segment, I got to figure out like what song I'm going to play when we do something, if it's going to be a regular thing. Let's see if this works. It's good opening. I'll dig it for now. Although this would be kind of fun to have like a local band, like somebody that like plays around the area, like providing a song. so I could talk about them as I give you at the exact same time our Shop Local Spotlight of the Week. I just saw this segment on 60 Minutes over the weekend, how backed up the supply lines are, especially with all the shipping containers coming in and how long it takes for things to get from one side of the country to the other side of the country. I think you're going to be doing an awful lot of local shopping, but we're not going to just talk about restaurants or a little place you can go in and buy some items for Christmas. We're going to talk about anybody in Evergreen Park that has a business that you might not know very much about, that you might need. How about this one? Dreamers Towing and Recovery. The owner of Dreamers, Tony, lives right here in Evergreen Park. He started his own towing company, and he is available to come and tow your car 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You call the phone, he picks up, he comes and tows your car. I always worry about calling tow companies. I never know how it's going to work out. I never know who I'm dealing with. I never know how long it's going to take for them to get to me. You're in the EP, go with a local guy. 773-410-4549. If you have a junk car, they'll buy it from you as well. And I expect that news segment to grow a little bit. These guys, they do all kinds of stuff for local businesses here in the EP. I have a crowd down here on the EP podcast today. I have Kelly Maroney is here. Butch Zemar is here. Butch does a show on the Broadcast Basement On Demand Radio Network. How are you, buddy?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. So he's a pro at this, Kelly. And then Lori Cleary's here as well. How are you, Lori?
I'm great.
And these folks are the lifeblood of the Evergreen Park Chamber of Commerce. Like, they are the ones, there's a lot of people involved, but whenever there's like some sort of meeting and they're like, hey, Chris, can you get in on this and talk a little bit about some stuff with us? And I'm like, cool. They are always there. They're like the triangle in the center of the circle. And Kelly, you guys have something that's coming up this month that we here at the EP Podcast are super excited to be a part of. It is the EP Money Tree Hunt. Who wants to talk about it? Kelly, do you want to talk about it? Who wants to kick off telling everybody about this? Because they can win cash. It's a treasure hunt. You got to be kind of a sleuth. You got to know clues. You got to figure things out. It's going to take a few hours, likely, on a Saturday, but you're going to have an awful lot of fun doing it. Who wants to jump in and tell me about this?
I do for sure.
Okay.
So we do have a super fun event coming up. It is called the EP Money Tree Hunt. It is taking place on Saturday, November 27th, which is Support Our Businesses Saturday. So this event, like Chris said, it's going to be super fun. And the whole idea behind this is to promote shopping local.
First of all, love the fact that you're calling it Support Our Business Saturday, because I think traditionally people go Small Business Saturday. And there's a growing thing where small businesses, I think, especially coming out of the pandemic, are realizing that, hey, I'm not so small and I don't like being called small. And in fact, we're doing something over here on the EP podcast, and I was going to call it something like a small business showcase. And I actually changed the name recently, the Shop Local Showcase, because I realized that it aggravated business owners. Was that like intentional, where you were like, you know what? Your business isn't so small. It's important.
Yes. Well, with us being the chamber, we have both small and big businesses. So we like to encourage everyone to just shop local and think local EP, especially during the holiday season, but always think local EP.
It looks like you start on the 27th at 9 a.m. at the sponsor of this event, also the sponsor of the EP podcast, the First National Bank of Evergreen Park. They like to do a lot of sponsoring. They're also giving away the $250, which is awesome.
Correct.
So you're going to get a clue. And then it's going to direct you to the next location you have to go to get your next clue. And the way you were explaining this to me, and I've gone through all the clues, folks. I'll tell you this honestly. I've gone through the clues. I did get it at the end. But I got it because I knew something that I don't think most people, and it took me a while. You put a lot of thought into these clues. Give me the process to what went into coming up with these clues so that it's not too easy, but you're going to get a winner of the $250 on that day.
All right. Well, when this whole idea came up, I literally started jumping up and down because I wanted to be a part of it. It just sounds like so much fun. I'm a puzzle fiend. I do crossword puzzles. I do word jumbles. I love mysteries. All of those things appeal to me. I've done scavenger hunts before. I've planned and organized them. I'm also a storyteller. So for me, it was just like, let me at it. Let me give it a try. And I wasn't even asked to do it. I just kind of did it. I was like, oh, this is great.
So we couldn't do it without you, Lori.
Oh, thank you. So basically, the process that I came up with is I wanted to learn as much as I could about the history of Evergreen Park. And because we're the chamber, I wanted this to have as much involvement of our local businesses. So I went with Kelly to the Historical Society over at the community center, and we met with
George Peso?
Yeah, we did.
George loves talking about history.
We had so much fun.
If I had George on this show, and I've had him on this show before, I don't need any other guest. It's going to be 30 minutes. I'm going to hear about a train robbery. It's going to be insane.
He's delightful.
He loves talking about the history of Evergreen Park. He knows everything. Is he disqualified from this? Because he's going to figure this out pretty quickly.
Well,
I don't know. You might.
No.
If George wants in on this thing, he might get it.
When we were talking with George and his team, we cast a wide net, so
Okay.
I don't think he knew exactly.
He might not be able to figure this out. Is what
But
you're
on the
telling
other
me.
hand, he is a consultant, so
Yeah,
he might want to take a
Step back.
Yeah, take a step back from it. But anyway, so what we did is I took pages and pages of notes from that.
Okay.
Drove around Evergreen Park up and down, and then sat down and tried to tell a story from the end to the beginning.
Yeah.
So what I wanted it to do, I wanted it to be fun where people wouldn't start getting clues and automatically guess it. I didn't want it to be too easy.
It's not easy.
I wanted people to have multiple ideas for each clue. Like, it could be this, it could be that. I'm going to go check these places out. But at the same time, we want people to remember it's Support Our Businesses Saturday. Go into these places as well. You know, do a little shopping while you're having fun.
Right. And now here's the thing. I want to kind of go back to what you just said about how you constructed it. That's true. You basically have to go through this whole thing. Like, one clue is not giving it away. And some of the clues are like, you know, more specific to when you finally find the area that it's going to happen. I think that's a true thing to say. And some of them actually tell you eventually where you should be searching. And they're like, but they're all puzzle piece. And you really have to go through all the clues to figure this out. Like, this isn't something I would be insanely shocked if somebody got it before the last clue, because I didn't get it to the last clue, and I had to pull out a map, and I had to Google a few things, and then I just kind of narrowed it down. And I was sitting there, and you and Kelly were staring at me like, do you got it? Do you got it? Do you got it? Do you got it? And it took forever. You just did it to Butch when he got down here. And poor Butch, I felt bad for him. I started leaning over, pointing at the thing on his phone. It's like, look here, Butch. And he's looking at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, because you guys, like, you know, and you're just like, how do you not know this yet? Like, it takes a while, right?
Well, we are so excited to see how long is it going to take people to figure it out. We hope it's not too easy. We hope it's not too hard. We want to go for just right. We want it to be fun.
I think you're going to nail it with the time that you expect it to go. It's going to kick off at 9 a.m. and you figure by 2 p.m. when you're doing the last clue, I would think very shortly thereafter somebody will get it. So it'll be a nice morning into the early afternoon. You're going to get to have a lot of fun. Butch, take me through your thoughts as you were going through the clues. It was hard, wasn't it?
It was definitely difficult. Being a resident of Evergreen Park nearly a decade, I was still thrown off by the clues. And so for those who have been here even for generations, they may be clued in, they maybe not. And so I was a little surprised, to say the least. But I think that's why the clues are good. They kind of tell a story. They get you moving to one area to another to kind of build those ideas together to try to figure out where it's all at.
We are not done with our guest. We're going to get right back to him, talk about how you can win that $250 coming up on the 27th, on that Saturday, right after Thanksgiving. But it is now time for your EP podcast, Word on the Street. And if you didn't notice, so much happening with the kids and their sports over the last week or so in and around Evergreen Park. Didn't get a chance to congratulate them last week. It just happened so late on Sunday. By the time I had the finals from those games, the EP podcast was already put together for Monday morning. But congratulations to Most Holy Redeemer right here in Evergreen Park. They win the Southside Catholic Conference Junior Varsity and Varsity Championships in football just about a week ago. Congratulations to all those kids. Congrats to the school. Also, an incredible run by Mother Macaulay's volleyball team. They placed second in the state over the weekend. They played in the championship game. They fell just short, but that is a great accomplishment. And Brother Rice beats Mount Carmel in when do those two schools ever get to face each other that late in the high school football playoffs? What a great game. I can't believe that I get to sit on my couch and watch that with an app on my TV. I love that technology. I just got to sit there and watch it. Looked like it was a lot of fun, though, out there at the stadium. Rice plays next week. If things go well, you could have Rice versus Rita at the end. Southside's going to be on fire. Back over to Mother Macaulay. They are doing a big production. They always do really great plays over there. Meet Me in St. Louis, starting on Thursday, running through Sunday. That is their fall musical. The performances on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night, 7:30 p.m. start. Sunday, there's a matinee at 3 p.m., $15 tickets for that. And my daughter, Audrey, who you hear at the beginning and at the end of every episode of the EP podcast, that's her chiming in, telling you how to subscribe. She is actually playing in the pit, in the orchestra. So I'll be at least one of those performances. Listen for the saxophone. We have some local Evergreen Park folks asking for your help, so we want to pass this along to you. Tom Nelligan attended Queen of Martyrs here in the EP, and also Brother Rice. And his friends here in the EP are trying to raise some money because he was diagnosed recently with stage 4 stomach cancer. He's got a wife, he's got 3 kids. There is a GoFundMe that has been set up for him. If you're able to give, it would be much appreciated. Just go to GoFundMe.com and hit the search button. Type in Tom Nelligan. Once you type in Tom space N-E, it pops right up there. Help Tom Nelligan beat cancer. They would appreciate anything you're able to give. There are leaves on the ground here in Evergreen Park, and remember, your green yard waste can will get pickup service until about mid-December. The village would appreciate if you used that before you shot them into the street. But let's be honest, I love shooting my leaves into the street. That's your EP podcast Word on the Street. If you have something you want us to pass along in the Word on the Street, just contact us right there at the eppodcast.com. Building relationships, supporting the community, and service. These are the things that Country Financial stands for. They're more than just an office you may pass by as you drive through Evergreen Park. They're neighbors who lend a helping hand and support the fabric of your community, including charitable organizations, sports, financial education, and civic organizations. And since Country is already your neighbor, they want to get together and chat. Call your local Country Financial representative, Mike Thauer, today at 708-425-1559 to talk about the things that are important to you and how he can help you protect them. All right, I want to talk a little bit more about this money tree hunt because $250 being handed out to the winners of a village-wide treasure hunt the Saturday following Thanksgiving. I love this. I love this whole idea.
I actually want to shout out to Butch because Butch had the idea to do a kind of a hunt in Evergreen Park.
This was your baby?
It was.
Now, from what I understand, like you guys kind of told me before we sat down here, that this is not the first time that anybody's done this in this area, but you've done kind of your own little twist. It was kind of like, we've seen these things. Sometimes you see them on Facebook. You see different groups that'll have these kind of events. But yours is a little different, and you put your own your stamp on it, and it's in reality, I think one of the stamps is you're trying to feature all of the different businesses in Evergreen Park and certain locations in Evergreen Park that will help people out, especially during this time. Like, this is a big deal this time of year for businesses that are local in Evergreen Park. I mean, we're at the back end of a pandemic that still has effect on businesses. Like, I speak to restaurant owners and they tell me there's weird patterns now where everybody goes out on the weekends. But guess what? If you want a table, show up on Wednesday because people have kind of changed their patterns as to how they do things. People have changed how they shop. I've talked to shop owners that will advertise on this show. They're still trying to navigate a new landscape. So it's a big deal this month. So you guys did a really good job here, I think, of trying to feature your local businesses.
Totally agree. But I don't want to take all the credit because Kelly did a lot more of the background work. And I guess brainstormed some ideas, and this was one of them. But I appreciate Kelly just basically taking the reins on it and putting it together because the creativity that was put involved in this and of course, Lori and our clues. I think this is going to be a fantastic event, and then obviously supporting and visiting some of these businesses in Evergreen Park, I think, is key. Chris brought up a good point. Coming at the tail end of the pandemic, buying modes are completely different than they were 2 years ago. And it's going to support these businesses that may be struggling, and they need this support for the community and stay involved because otherwise, when the businesses start drying up and moving out, it's harder for the village to actually keep moving because they depend on it too, and obviously families are depending on all these businesses as well.
Kelly, you're kind of the point person for the Evergreen Park Chamber of Commerce, right? And they change you've had several different presidents already that have like been the person that like is a business owner and they rotate that. But you've been going through this now for years, and you've been here before the pandemic hit. You've gone through this entire thing. You're at the back end. The mayor just put out a thing over the last week where she was talking about there's new business licenses. We had two of the trustees on here, Mark Marzullo and Norm Anderson, and they were talking about there's a new car dealership coming in, and there's more applications for new businesses, and that businesses are starting to see a little bit of a turnaround. What has this been like for you, and how important is it for the chamber to continuously evolve and do more for its local businesses? And because Evergreen is really starting to become like a location that people want to move into and sell goods.
Yeah, I definitely think everything that's going on in Evergreen is awesome. Like you said, we're getting a new car dealership, and businesses are starting to kind of, turn back from the pandemic. And us as a chamber, we've been here to support them. I always say we're stronger together. Just doing things like this, just building awareness and showing everybody what Evergreen has to offer. So yeah, it's been difficult, just like with businesses. We've been having struggles, but we're all in this together, and I think we are all coming out ahead.
And you got a fun contest, Lori. I mean, this thing I think is going to be a blast. I'm jealous that I can't do it.
I know.
My wife is mad.
Me too.
Erica goes, I get to do it, right? I'm like, no, you don't get to do it because I'm part of it. Like I have the clues. I was one of the test subjects. EP Podcast is going to be involved in it. Like, listen. If you're not subscribed to the show, and I know some people listen through like a Facebook link or they see it on Twitter, and it's when they see it, they click on it. I've heard that before. The subscribers, you're going to want to be subscribed if you're doing this, because one of the clues, first of all, I'm going to hang out with Kelly when she places the clue, we've decided. So we're going to be out at the location, and you're going to hear the audio, and there's probably going to be something that will give you a hint in the background audio, and that's going to be the Monday before this happens on the 27th. Then on the 27th, one of the clues in the middle of it is going to be a special release of the EP podcast. It's going to pop up on your phone or your device, or you're going to have to go to the website, theeppodcast.com, and you're going to have to hear this clue. And I have fought tooth and nail, and I think I have won on a clue that is very essential to figuring this out. So I was like, I want that clue. Okay. I mean, it's a good one. So, I mean, like, this is going to be, I think, an awful lot of fun, but it's going to be like, you're going to be interacting with other people. You're going to meet people while you're on the hunt. You're going to talk with the people inside the stores. Then all of a sudden you're going to have to listen to audio on the podcast and kind of be able to, it's really going to be kind of a fun thing. And I can see that you're just kind of like, you're almost beaming because you want it to happen tomorrow. Like, you're like, why do I have to wait till the 27th at 9:00 at the First National Bank of Evergreen Park?
Chris, I've had so much fun working with Kelly, Butch, and you on this hunt. So as much fun as we've been having, imagine what families are going to be doing on Saturday, November 27th. They're going to have a blast. And I encourage families to come out. Bring your kids with you. Make it a family event.
Yeah.
Make it a family hunt.
Not my family.
Shop
though.
for gifts.
They're so mad. They're like, we want to do it. I'm like, no, you can't do it. I'm like, everybody will think I gave it away. Like, you can't do it. And they're and then they're like, what is it? I'm like, I'm not telling you because you're going to give it away. Right now, I mean, I'm only saying this on the air so that if people see me out, they try to ply me with gifts to give it away. But I'm not giving it away. I'm not giving it away. I just want the gifts. I just want it to be plied, I guess is what I want to be. Okay, so how do
Chris,
people...
what if I split it with you, though?
And surprise, surprise, Seymour and Lanuti win the money. That would ruin this whole contest, so don't worry about that. Okay, how do people... Do they just show up right now? Is there a pre-registration? Is there a website with more details? Give me all that.
Yeah, so you can head over to evergreenparkchamber.org. There's more details about the event on our website there. We are asking that you RSVP just so we can kind of expect how many people are participating. But then, we just look forward to seeing you at 9 a.m. on November 27th at First National Bank of Evergreen Park.
Can I give away the fact that it's not an actual tree? Like, they're not, I don't want people walking around the park for the next 3 weeks trying to see if they can get the money early. It's like a picture of a tree, right? And it's being hidden in a location, so it could really be anywhere. But when you find that, then that's how you get the $250, Lori. Is that okay if I give that away?
It's okay for you to say that. It is a physical piece of paper.
Because right now somebody's like, all right, I'm starting my day off in Klein Park. I'm going to be at 50 Acre. That's where I'm going to be. Like it's not an actual tree. Right.
No.
Exactly. Yeah. All right. So you're going to look for the money tree starting at 9 a.m. November the 27th. Over at the First National Bank of Evergreen Park is where it will start. You'll get your first clue there. They're providing the $250 prize. RSVP at evergreenparkchamber.org. Butch, Lori, Kelly, a good time. I'm very excited about it. Disappointed that I can't participate. Especially I'm giddy to tell people afterwards some of the behind the scenes stuff that I can't talk about right now, and how these things came up and everything, and what did it for me. Like, I can't wait to talk about it, but I can't because I'll give it away. But thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Another show is wrapped up. Another show's in the books. Another show is wrapped up. And then by the looks, it's gonna be a good one. And we'll see you next week. And the nude is basement. And the nude is basement. Another show is wrapped up. Another show is wrapped up. Another show is wrapped up. And it's in the books. Another show is wrapped up. Another show is wrapped up. And by the looks, it's gonna be a good one. Nudie's Basement. Broadcast Basement. The Nudie's Basement. The Broad Basement. Slancha.
The EP Podcast. Heard everywhere podcasts can be found, and always at the eppodcast.com.